Go gold with me for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month this September. I am super excited to announce the official launch of my children's book, Haley's Triumph: Rainbows After Rain. This is the story of when I was diagnosed with cancer at 5 years old, and it is written and illustrated in such a beautiful way that allows kids to understand this very serious illness because it impacts a lot of people, a lot more people than you would think. And so, my whole goal with this book is to spread awareness for childhood cancer and to also help cancer kids and all kids understand what cancer is and how it affects you. You can get my story, Haley's Triumph, for $11.99 on Amazon. I would encourage you to purchase one and gift one to a local cancer kid if possible, especially this month, so that we can really support the cancer kids. And don't forget to go gold this month. Welcome back to Real Talk About Feminism podcast, everyone. We are officially in fall. It is fall vibes. The weather might not be reflecting that. It is still a little warm, for me at least. I don't know about for you.
Not in Denver. It's cooled off so much.
Really?
Yeah, like this past week, I stepped outside and I was like, I'm not sweating. Like it was in like the high 60s, low 70s. And it's been so nice because you can still wear shorts,
Yeah.
but it's not deathly hot like it has been. So yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
like fall.
It's cooled off here, but I feel like it's still hot. So it's not quite cool enough to open the windows during the day, but it's still super nice. So I won't
And
complain.
I feel like where you are, it's more humid too. So it's going to feel hotter.
Yeah. Well, we are dressed in our best, finest for Megan Fashion Week. For those of you guys who don't know or haven't heard of Megan Fashion Week, this is in honor of our friend and past guest. She was on the podcast a few years ago, and she unfortunately passed away from stomach cancer. And I was thinking about it and I was like, I think she her age, it was technically childhood cancer, which is very fitting because it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So
What's the age cutoff?
I think it's like 20 or 22.
I don't think so because I think she was like 24.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but I mean, either way, like it did hit
Still,
close to home because she was within our age range.
mhm.
And to give a little more info about Megan Fashion Week, she had started this as a fundraiser for stomach cancer the like month leading up to her passing. And it was Megan Fashion Week. And then since she passed, her family and her close friends have continued this on and made it an entire month-long tradition. And they have different themes that you can dress up with and tag Megan Fashion Week Instagram account. And so, in honor of her and September being Megan Fashion Month, we dressed up in a couple different themes that they provided. I am dressed up as Brat Summer. I've got the sunnies,
I love
got my
it.
bun.
365 party girl. I love it. I love it. It's giving brat. It's so brat. Even though it's brat autumn right now, it's still brat.
Yeah. It's giving brat.
Yeah. I am dressed in coquette theme. So I have my little bows and
I love
of
it.
course the gold ribbon for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, which is kind of what we're talking about today. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, we are going to recap Haley's weekend, and I have not really heard any of this. So I'm very excited. But before we get into that, we still have our obsessions. We have some updates for you guys and our feminist highlight. So
Yes.
first, this month, middle of September to middle of October is Hispanic Heritage Month. And I think it's so great, once again, that we have these months for different demographics that we can honor them, remember them, think about those who are close to us that fit into these categories. And I think it's really cool to be able to highlight people who have made very big impacts in their communities and society in general. So this month, let's remember it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and let's just be mindful of that.
I love that.
I have a couple things that I want to talk to you about.
Yes, I'm so
First, I
excited.
want your thoughts on Anna Delvey on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay. I know that like her whole she has an attitude, like that's her, but I'm kind of like slightly no, I'm not even slightly. I'm like you are you have a lot of opportunities still, and I feel like you should be more grateful and excited for them. Like cuz so many people would
Yeah.
love to be on Dancing with the Stars, and I just feel like she doesn't care about it.
Yeah. She's weird in general to me. Like she's weird. My biggest thing with it is like why are we rewarding her?
Yeah,
It's literally the same as Gypsy Rose. Like why are we giving her like celebrity status?
right. I know. I'm like, I feel
Like
like
you're a
that's
criminal.
yeah, like I feel like that's slightly problematic. So,
Like you're literally dancing with an ankle monitor.
yeah. I know. I'm like so yeah, I when I like watched the first episode and everything, I was like, I don't really love her attitude about this. I'd rather see someone else up there.
Honestly, yeah, I'm like you guys are so desperate. Like there's a few people I've never even heard of. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not rooting for you. I'm rooting for Ilona and Steven. And I'm rooting
Same.
for I really liked Jen and Joey.
Yeah. I
And
liked
I
them too.
really liked who the girl that was a Disney star. I thought she did really good. I don't even know her
Disney
partner's
Star.
name. Brandon, maybe?
Oh, Brandon. Yes, I know. So when
Yes.
I saw the trailer for the season, I was like, they're gonna win. Like that's my call.
I think they had probably the best dance of the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted your thoughts on that because like I know that you went through like a obsession with Anna Delvey. Like you like rewatched the Netflix show and everything.
Wait. No, I didn't.
I thought you did. I thought you rewatched
N-
it and you were like, I'm just
no,
like so fascinated by it.
no, I recently was talking about rewatching it, but that's because um in the actor that plays her, Jennifer
Yeah.
something, I think. Um I
Yeah. The girl from Ozark.
yeah, I really like her and I was like I want to see her in something else. I know she's in a lot of other stuff, so I should just watch something else. But yeah, no, I do think that show was really good and I have been wanting Kendrick to watch it so that I could like talk to him about it because the whole like journalist, like that whole
Yeah.
thing, like telling the
Yeah.
story, it was like it was a good show, like a good it was engaging. But yeah, like at the end of the day, she is a criminal.
Yeah, literally. That's like where I stand at the end of the day is she does not deserve a platform really.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
anyways, I also wanted I know we've like talked about it in and out, but I want your brief overview thoughts of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yes. I first off, I'm like, can we get more than like 8 episodes? I
Literally,
wanted
there's
more.
more than enough content.
Yeah, I know. Um, but I I think that it is so interesting to me how many Mormons are like so upset about it because I'm like they're like, "Oh, this is like not like I've been seeing people post this is what a real life of a Mormon wife looks like." And I'm like, everyone's different. Like Everyone's different. And I know that you listened to the girls camp episode with Jessie.
Mhm.
Um and so I listened to it after, and girls camp is like a podcast if any of you guys know. Um but I really liked that. I listened to it at like 4 a.m. last night because I couldn't sleep. And I was just like sitting in the dark listening. I was like, wow, this is so insightful. Because she was saying, she was like, wouldn't the Mormon church, like, or no, she was like, isn't it just like showing that you're not being Christ like by not
Mhm.
accepting these like imperfect people, because everyone's imperfect.
Mhm.
Like, and we shouldn't be judging. Like, that was something that always bugged me when I was going to school at BYU, Idaho, when I was training to be a secret life of a Mormon wife, and then I left.
Getting your
Um,
MRS degree.
no, literally. Um, but when I was there and I was like, I had a church calling in like the women's group, whatever. And the in the meetings they would talk about like, oh, so and so isn't wearing her garments, and so we really need to figure out what's going on there, and so hasn't been to church in 3 weeks because they're working on Sunday. Well, I'm sorry that we're in college. Like, hello, like they can't work. And it was just so annoying to me because I was always like, why does this matter so much? Like, first off, so invasive. You would never ask
Mhm.
someone about if they're wearing their underwear or not, like a
Mhm.
specific type. But it's just so judgmental and like the opposite of what they preach, but that's so normal for it to be so
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah, and I think, like, since following the girls on the show and, like, hearing podcast interviews and, like, even in the show, they had said, "This is the Utah Mormon culture.
Yeah.
This is it." So, like, all the Mormons who are acting so shocked and like, "This isn't an accurate portrayal." Yes, it is. And both of us having lived that for a majority of our lives, yes, it
Hmm.
is. So, I'm with you, like, please don't be offended because you probably do half of this anyways.
Right. Yeah. And I was just like, everything is so accurate,
Mhm.
especially because the Utah Mormon culture, which they talk about, but like the Utah Mormon
Mhm.
culture is so crazy and just such a different breed. And yeah, like everything, the thing that like got me was I saw this TikTok about, it was like the clip from when they were like, yeah, we go get Botox and get high on laughing gas. And I looked at the comments and someone was like, Botox does not hurt enough to need laughing gas. And I was like,
Yes.
honestly, yeah. Like, as someone who gets it in like painful spots, and I suffer through it and I'm just fine. Like, I was like, you guys are just like so just like, I guess, like wanting to feel, I guess. And in the church they
Yeah,
don't want you to
like
feel.
yeah, like very confined.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Remember when I texted you, I was watching it and I was like, "Does Botox hurt enough to get laughing gas? Like, can you even get that?" And you were like, "No, not here."
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
was
not a
like,
thing.
yeah, like maybe I was thinking maybe because they go to like a cosmetic place and I go to a doctor, but I'm like, I feel like it would make sense to be the other way around where like a doctor might offer a laughing gas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's very
yeah.
interesting. I'm like already obsessed. I want another season.
Yeah, me too. Did you see that Taylor and Dakota broke up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I feel bad for her because she really did have so much character development from the first episode to like then however months later. Like, she's
She did.
obviously working on herself, and I applaud her for still trying to be Mormon when she's pregnant, unmarried.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt for her like the entire show because I could see her character development and you know how much I really did not like her. Like I literally
Yeah.
blocked her on TikTok because I was so annoyed with her. And then the
Mhm.
show came out and I was like, "Oh, I hate Taylor Frankie Paul." And then after like even the first episode, I was just like, "Girl, I feel you." Like she seems so
Mhm.
lost. And I feel like now she's like in a place where she knows what she wants. Like, I thought it was so admirable of her to stand her ground and not get married just because she was pregnant.
Mhm.
And
Me
she was
too.
right, because now they're broken up and Dakota's a walking red flag. Like, I do not trust that man.
No, I don't either. I'm like, you're scary. You just like look
Yeah.
scary. Like you're
No, I
intense.
know. I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, so many thoughts, but can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, hopefully season 2.
Did you see all the TikTok comments of like people were like, let's get the Dallas mom talk. Like, there was a group of like self-proclaimed Idaho mom talk.
Oh
And they were doing
no.
like the sexy back dance where like they each go in a
Oh
circle.
yeah.
Yeah, like the actual mom talk group is like known for. And they were
Yeah.
like, let's get the Idaho mom talk going. Come on, girls. Like, let's rise up. Let's do this in every city. And I was like, guys,
No.
come on.
No. Sorry. But no.
It
I
was
love
sending me.
the fun though. Like just have
Yeah.
fun, I guess.
Yeah. No, I love it. And like, there's so many layers to it. When season 2 comes out, we should do like a whole episode about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Our
I totally
recording
agree.
schedule, you guys, has just been like so crazy. So sorry that this is late,
Yeah,
but we both do have quite a bit going on. So
we do.
we're doing our
We do.
best, but
Yeah.
we still
We're
love
trying to get
podcasting.
content out,
Yeah.
but it's rough out here sometimes.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for our current events section, I want to talk about Gisselle Pelicot. And if you have not heard anything about her, definitely go look up her name, because there's going to be a bunch of news articles that have come out, and this is like a developing case. But I really just want to say, I guess, to her and to everyone, um,
Mhm.
I think it's really admirable what she's doing, and how she has openly stated, like, I want everything about this case to be out there in the world, to bring awareness and to let women who are also going through sexual assault and experiences of the sort know that they're not alone, and that like you can get through it. And just like
Mhm.
hearing sick, horrific details about this man, her husband, and all of these other men who are involved in this, it's sick. And I
Mhm.
have listened to like a couple podcast episodes about it, and I've had to like pause it and turn it off at some points, because I literally can't fathom being in this situation, and like that level of betrayal. It makes me
Mhm.
sick. But I wanted to mention it in this space because I think it's really important, and I definitely think it's groundbreaking and like raising major awareness to how much of an issue this is.
Yeah. I don't think that I'm going to assume they don't have the death penalty in France, but that man deserves that because it's absolutely horrific.
Mhm.
And I really applaud her for coming out and standing up because she's also standing up for her daughter because he did similar things to
Yeah.
their
Oh
daughter.
gosh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
so it's just like I'm so sorry that she has to stand up and like be out there about it, but
Mhm.
I'm so proud of her and so inspired by her desire to obviously defend herself but help so many other women. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I think her husband and all of the men that were involved deserve the death penalty
Mhm.
for what they did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we've definitely been following that case. Again, if you aren't familiar with it, just go like read up a little bit. Major trigger warnings for sexual assault and rape, and like, yeah, anything of that sort. But I think
Yeah.
it's important to know because it is happening in France, but like I feel like there's this like sense of community around women and like especially survivors that like
Mhm.
I think is making an impact for sure. So
Oh,
our
yeah.
hearts go out to her in this time.
Yeah.
Let's do our obsessions for the week.
Do you wanna go first?
I'll go first. My obsession is my new cat. I got a cat a couple weeks ago. He is my baby. His name is Reese, and if you're an ACOTAR girly, then you get it. But he already has my heart. I'm so happy with him. He
Aw.
is so sweet, and you get to meet him this week.
I'm so
And
excited.
I'm so excited for you guys to meet. But yeah, he's my obsession.
You have to post some pictures on the story because he is so cute. And yeah, I have been dying to meet him. I can't wait for G and Reese to
I
meet and
know, I
just be the
know.
cutest little cousin boys. And I love it. Like, I'm just so happy for you. When you were like, I want to do this, like, I want to get a cat, I was questioning if it fully would happen. And then you literally
Mhm.
like came home that day with Reese. So I'm so
Yeah,
excited for you.
thank you. It worked out really well, and I'm very happy.
Yay. Congrats, new mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Um,
ahead.
my obsession is cheesy corn. Um,
Okay.
it's it sounds like gross, but I'm telling you it's so good. So what I will do is I will put a whole can of corn in like a pan and heat it up in the pan with a little bit of olive oil and Mexican Fiesta seasoning from Trader Joe's,
Mhm.
and then pepper jack cheese and a little bit of sour cream. And then you just mix it up, and it's like warm and yummy. It's like probably so unhealthy because I'm just eating like a can of corn every day, but I love it. It's so good.
That does sound good. That reminds me of that Costco like elote, frozen
Hmm.
elote that we were
Yeah.
obsessed with as a family. It sounds similar to that, and that stuff is good.
Yeah, like it's kind of it gives that same vibe. So yeah, I love it. It's like my latest little snack. And it's so easy to make and just like easy on the stomach. So I'm like, might as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and like it's corn, it's a vegetable.
Yeah.
Starch.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. So, feminist highlight. I actually have little snippets for three separate women. And in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, I couldn't pick just one. So, I wanted to highlight three Hispanic women that really stood out to me as I was doing some research. Number one is Felisa Rincon de Gautier. In 1946, Felisa broke barriers when she ran for and was elected mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, becoming the first woman to be elected as the mayor of a capital city in the Americas. She was an active participant in Puerto Rico's women's suffrage movement and pushed for childcare programs that became the inspiration for the United States Head Start program. Doña Felisa, as she was called, received 113 keys to different cities across Puerto Rico, the US, and Latin America, and was awarded 11 honorary degrees.
Wow.
And I really liked that. My first thought was the childcare aspect because after reading Invisible Women, I have such a different perspective on how important childcare is.
Yeah.
And Felisa definitely saw that and she saw that need.
Yeah. That's amazing. 111 keys to different cities is like that's a big deal because they don't just give out a key to the city to anyone.
Yeah, 113 keys and 11
Oh.
honorary degrees.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Good for
yeah.
her.
Next is Jovita Idar. Jovita Udar started her social justice work in 1910, writing articles on racial discrimination, lynchings, and other violence by Texas Rangers for her father's newspaper. In 1911, she formed the League of Mexican Women, recognized today as the first attempt in Mexican American history to organize a feminist social movement, which provided free education for Tejano students and goods for the poor.
Wow.
And see, this is why we need women in government because things that actually matter happen.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. Third and final is Sherry Moraga. While intersectionality, a concept describing the ways oppressive institutions like racism, sexism, and homophobia are interconnected, was coined by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989, which we have talked about in a previous episode if you guys want to go look at that. Cherie was a Chicana feminist and had been discussing the quote interlocking of oppressions from the start of her activist, academic, and artistic careers in the 1970s. She co edited a book called This Bridge Called My Back, Writings by Radical Women of Color, in 1981, and it challenged mainstream feminism to include race related issues into the movement. Today, as a playwright, educator, and founding member of La Red Chicana Indigena, sorry for my pronunciation, a network of Chicanas organizing nationally and internationally for social change, indigenous political education, and grassroots organizing, she continues her intersectional or interlocking Chicana feminism.
Wow. The title of the book is really powerful. That's really stood out to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I just loved how she described it as interlocking because I think that's such a good representation of like the intersectionality. And
Hmm.
both of these terms were coined by like amazing women. And I think that interlocking and her definition should definitely get some more credit because it's a really good visual and it is the same concept as intersectional feminism, which is very important. There's no feminism without intersectional feminism.
Exactly. I love that. I love that you had like three different women to highlight. So thanks for putting that together. I always love the feminist highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everyone listening, I will put their names and the link to the source that I used in the show notes so you guys can go look at other people that were also listed and do some more research. It's very cool.
Awesome. Well, getting into our main portion of today's episode, I want to just share with you guys my experience at Curefest in Washington, D.C. So, Curefest is an event um, every year in DC, and it's like a huge collection of the childhood cancer community. So whether that's siblings, parents, bereaved family members, kids who are currently fighting, survivors, and so there are just there's like educational things during the week, and different people will be doing advocacy and like addressing our leaders on the Hill. um and then there are also like different groups that you can attend. There's like um the one that I attended was a like fighter survivor in your 20s connection, which was really amazing and helpful. And I'll get more into that. But so different like kind of like support groups like that where they just want you to connect with people because connection is the most important thing. um and so, like, different events like that. There's a march to the Capitol, and then there's like candlelight vigils, performances at night. There's a lot going on. So I attended one full day and then an event on the other day. And that was a lot for me because it's very emotional. But also so much power. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so heavy and sad because nobody should have to be there. But at the same time it does feel like so powerful. So um yeah, it was just really amazing. And so I want to share with you guys like the actual details.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say probably like the most exciting thing was going to the White House. So with that group, the In Your 20s, like fighter survivor connection, um, we we got invited to go bowling at the White House. And so it was so cool because one, that was other than in February when I lobbied to Congress, that was the first time that I was around survivors my age.
Mhm.
And even like one of the girls that had the same type of cancer as me that I met in February, she was there too. So like it was super fun because I recognized some people, made so many new friends. But yeah, so we got invited, we go to the White House, and we like do the whole check-in process and get our little badges. And then we were like, the bowling alley is in the basement, and it's the Harry S. Truman bowling alley. So he's the one that put it in. And so it was weird because like it's literally like in the basement. So like it's like kind of like a utility hall. And then you walk
Mm.
in and it's like this beautiful bowling alley. But it was just like so funny to me because I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess you would have to have a bowling alley on the bottom floor because it's like full service. Like the balls come up, like it's really fancy. So um that was really cool and super fun. Um and that was honestly, I would say, like a healing experience for me because it was true that was truly the first time that I've just been surrounded by people my age, and everyone, like, we all know what it's like.
Yeah.
And that was just so much fun. So we did that. I saw Kamala's office. I not inside, not inside. Um, but I saw like they were like, okay, those two windows are for the vice president, and I was like, OMG.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, I'd love to meet Kamala. And the like White House person that was with us, he was like, I'd love to as well. And I was like, oh haha. And like it was like so funny. But he was like, I think she's a little busy kind of trying to do something big here. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
just a little busy.
exactly.
um, but I was like, okay, Joe, you couldn't stop by for the kids? You couldn't have made an appearance? Um, which, okay, side note, I saw this TikTok, this video from like the Daily Mail, like right before we recorded, and it was like Joe Biden loses it when he forgets who he's announcing. And literally, like the audio, he's like, so now next, like he's presenting. Next, we have who am I announcing? Who's coming on? And then like it pauses for a few seconds, and then he goes, "Who's coming on?" And I was like, Joe,
Wait, he's so over it.
I know.
He's done. He's like, you guys already took me off the ticket. I
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. Anyways, um, but so yeah, okay. After the White House, Dad, he ended up coming down for Curefest, which was super
Mhm.
fun. It was the first time that he visited where we live, so it was fun. Um, so after that, I just like met him at a metro station, and then we took the metro back home and went to we went to this like super nice Italian restaurant in Old Town. So where we
Mhm.
took you, and it's called Mia's Italian Kitchen. It was such good food. Very yummy like mocktail, and their
Yum.
drinks were good. So yeah, we did that, and then we like kind of walked down to the shore and walked around a little bit, and that was super fun because like there was like people like playing their instruments, and like everyone's all dressed up and cute, so that was fun. And then the next day was the first like main day of Curefest, and so that was okay. So yeah, we took the metro down. Me, Kendrick, and Dad, and I attended that like connection group, and that was super good because we were just like talking through our feelings and like
Yeah.
it was fun because like they were like, okay, like if you like really resonate with something that someone says, like give snaps. And so like everything, like everyone would just like be like so snappy, and I was like yes, yes, yes. um and it was just so validating because I really like, I know that there are so many other people who experience childhood cancer, but I truly have been on like an island on my own where
Yeah,
like
you have.
since end of middle school, I have been trying to do different fundraising things every single year, and truly just nobody really cared. Like I reached out to every year I reached out to so many news stations and it's like different organizations, and nobody cared. And so like when I expressed that and everyone was like, "Yep, exactly," because unfortunately, people don't care unless it happens to them or someone close
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
And
And it's really
so,
sad.
yeah, it is really sad. And so we kind of like talked through those things, and then we did the march to the Capitol, kind of. Um, I like needed to get food, so we ate. And then we were like, oh, we met at the wrong place for the march to the Capitol. So we were like, let's just try to like intercept them. And so me, Dad, and Kendrick were like walking down, and like we literally had like our whole own little march. And then we got there right when they were taking the group picture. And so we were like, hey,
Oh
we made
my
it
gosh.
anyways. um so yeah, that was like basically down the National Mall to the Capitol. Um and that was um I didn't actually march with the group, so I don't know how that was. But like seeing all the signs and the people connecting and the different groups afterwards, um that was really impactful. There were a lot of bereaved parents marching, and that had like they were somehow like showing pictures of their child, like whether on a
Yeah,
shirt
that's
or a
I can't
sign.
imagine.
Yeah, and like the signs that really got me were um like they would put a picture of the kid and then say like um Angel deserved better. Like Angel deserved a
Mhm.
cure. And that was really sad. Um kind of like to go along with that, they had two different walls. They had um a wall, like this gallery outside of survivors. And then on the opposite side, they had this whole long, like much longer gallery of angels who,
Mhm.
yeah. And that was like the first thing that we went and go looked at on Saturday morning. And that was just really horrible because the amount of kids that had the same cancer as me that didn't make it,
Yeah.
it just like really puts it into perspective for you and makes you really appreciate like everything that you have, even though like I do deal with so many late effects, and I've talked about that. And um even though like that is hard, like just seeing like little 1 year olds or less than 1 year olds that lost their fight, like how is that fair? And
Yeah.
we can be doing so much more because in the past, like since like the 90s, there have been like four new childhood cancer drugs developed. That's it. And there's been so many developments for adult cancer drugs, but not
Mhm.
for kids. And so it is like, yeah, it really does like really get you going. And um I feel like I was able to really just experience like healthy connection around it, but also like being able to be like, yeah, this sucks. Like, this isn't okay. This shouldn't be happening. and being completely validated. And so it was an amazing experience, and I I feel like I learned a lot, honestly, just from like the connection and like the importance of connection is really like what I learned.
Yeah, for sure. I love that they do that because you definitely were not the only one feeling that way, and that's why they have it. And I
Hmm.
love that it's just open to like anyone who's affected,
Yeah.
which is sad. It's sad, but like it was probably also really good for the bereaved parents and like cool for like dad and Kendrick to be there. Like I just love that it's open to anyone who's been affected.
Hmm. Yeah, and they were like they had things for like every type of person. And
Yeah.
um on Saturday night, there was like a little like meet and greet in the plaza, and there was a bunch of tables set up, and so like all of the different nonprofits and groups were just like there. And so I got a lot of resources. I got like just different like goodies, and made a lot of connections. But it was really, two things were like really amazing about this. One, um at that they had a tent, and it was like come get your color of bead. And so they had like a color for like a spouse. You're the spouse of someone, a child
Oh.
that had cancer. So Kendrick got, I think that one was like green beads. um and then dad got blue beads because that was like parent. And then I got silver beads, and that was like survivor. And so I loved that because there was so much focus on cancer is a journey for the whole family, which
Mm-hmm.
is so true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just really loved that. That was like one thing that I loved. And then second, when I was walking around, I ran into this little girl and boy, and she had overheard me telling someone like, yeah, I had a Wilms tumor. And she was like, hey, I had a Wilms tumor too. And I was like, no way, like, how old were you? And she was one, when she was
Oh my
diagnosed. And then
gosh.
the little boy, like, he like came up and he was like, yeah, like I had a Wilms tumor also. And so we were talking, and it was just so like, it was just a really cool experience because obviously, like, I don't want anyone to have to go through that. But I was like, it was just like a sweet moment, I guess. And I really loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I love that. I think there's some members of our extended family even that would really love to go.
Hmm.
Like I love that that was part of the focus because it's hard. And so like being able to open that up to anyone who was affected is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely know like what I want to do next year. I want to plan better because for this year, I was like, I just want to dip my toe in the water. I don't want to commit to
Mhm.
anything because I have had such a hard time with my cancer journey this year, more than I've ever had. And so that like going to Curefest really helped because people validated that feeling. And so yeah, next year I know like I really want to like plan my like multiple days out and do all that. But for now, that was my first Curefest, and it was an amazing time.
I love that for you. It sounds like it was very healing and much needed.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something that definitely you were missing that was not like holding you back from like healing certain parts of the journey, but from what you're saying, it sounds like it was really beneficial to be able to connect with people. And like, are there people that you got their information? Like, you guys are going to stay in touch? Like, do you have that group still?
Yeah. I am connected with a lot of them on social media now. I'm going to one of my friends' um like big fundraiser banquet in 2 weeks. And
Nice.
then there's a support group for that group of 20s. And so I joined that and I'm really excited. It's like virtual once a month. So yeah, I'm definitely
Nice.
like planning on staying connected, and that group was so connected. There were a lot of new, like, first time attendees, but also like such good friendships between the people there. And so I was like, I'm so excited that I'm like in this world now.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that you are in DC area so you have the opportunity to go to these things because unfortunately there's not really anything like that in Denver that we know about. And that's why like you would always try and spearhead fundraisers and try and bring awareness to childhood cancer, especially in September. And it
Yeah.
just never went anywhere because you're
Yeah.
right, like people don't care and it sucks. But I think you're in a really good place that you can connect with people and like go to events like this. So I'm very happy that you got to go. And I'm happy that dad went out with you and Kendrick was there and like you had
Yeah.
support systems and I'm glad it was a
Yeah.
good experience.
Yeah, me too. It was really good. It was a great weekend.
And now you know what to expect for next year. And
Exactly.
eventually I would love to go with you.
Yes, I know. I know. I one day, like, the whole family will go and it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to because it sounds like it was made for that. Like all obviously like made for survivors, but like including anyone else who was affected as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. With that, I will post photos from the event on our Insta. So follow us. All of the information is in the show notes. The information from the Feminist highlights will be posted there as well. So you guys can take a look at that. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.